Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on our last session of collaborating series, Future-Proof Your Business 2025. My name is Susana Marambio, and I am the co-owner of BBCS Business Advisors. We help businesses to accelerate the growth by providing them with the roadmaps, the knowledge, and the tools they need to achieve their goals. So this session is being recorded and streamed live on LinkedIn. It will take around 45 minutes. There is time to answer all the questions. So as soon as you have a question, put it in the chat or in the Q&A, or anyway, at the end of the session, we will have some time to answer them. These collaboration sessions, I started in 2022 and then launched properly in 2023. It is by business owners for business owners. And with the only goal, it is to address the real challenges that we see every day when we're talking with our customers. And we focus in providing you with practical tips that you can implement straight away. The title of our webinar today is Stream Sales and Impress Your Customers. Our guest is Gosia FitzGerald. She is the co-founder of OnePageCRM, an action-oriented CRM tailored to small business needs. With over 15 years of entrepreneurial experience, she is all about getting things done. Gosia's passion lies in driving real results, fueling efficiency, and nurturing growth in both her professional and personal life. So Gosia, welcome, and thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you, Susanna. It's lovely to be here. Thank you.
So before we start talking about business, please tell us a little bit about your journey.
Yes, of course. So as you said, I've been in business with OnePageCRM for the last 15 years. But I suppose during my lifetime, I've been exposed to entrepreneurial spirit from different sources. And first being my dad, who actually ran his own business. Being in engineering, he had a fit out and warehouse design business. So he was my first role model. And I was hugely influenced by him and witnessing him leading his team and growing the business. It actually inspired me to actually go on and started my own. So that's what I've done. Well, OnePageCRM wasn't my first venture. We had a different small boutique marketing agency as well. But I suppose for me, I wanted to join two passions of mine. You know, I wanted to run the business as well. But there was a time where businesses moving online, we're talking like donkey's years in the past, and we kind of wanted to be part of that movement as well. So facilitate businesses going online, increasing online presence as well, and then build a software as well that would help them to grow their businesses as well. So this is how we started with OnePageCRM, and 15 years later, we have a quite strong database of our users, reaching 11,000, and we are present in 80 countries. So delighted about that.
That's fantastic. Well, one of the things that I've been in the last 4 years, what I realized is that many micro and small businesses are gradually adopting digital tools for efficiency, like payment software, the ERP system for purchasing, or e-post system or e-commerce for sales. However, something that normally is left to be handled manually, it is manage the leads and sales inquiries. So this part of the business, especially what happens before someone becomes a customer, is crucial for growth. In Ireland, it's very different to other countries. It usually starts by a referral of an introduction. Then that follow a phone call or maybe an email. And from there, the potential customer will become a customer. But the truth is that works if you have few inquiries, because then you can probably manage that. But what happens if, for example, you go to a trade show and you come back with a number of business cards, or you have a sales team and each of them are bringing leads, or you actually decide to do a digital campaign and leads start streaming, or you have a website and suddenly that website becomes a lead magnet. So without the proper system, it's very easy that very valuable leads that you really want, that top customer that you want, slips through the cracks. So to give you just some background, so total advertisement spent in Ireland is projected to reach 1.7 billion in 2025. This is over 7% from last year. Mm-hmm. Digital advertisement account for 65% of that. And Google and Meta ads platforms, so Facebook and Instagram, take 80% of digital ads. Despite this huge investment, there is a growing concern that much of that spend is wasted due to lack of structured sales processes, poor or non-existent follow-ups, or inadequate measurement of the marketing return on investment. So Gosia, in your experience, how do a small business usually take someone from being potential customer to a paying one? And what are the common mistakes that they're making?
Yeah, you touched on a really, really important point, Susanna. Leads are expensive. There's a lot of time and effort spent in trying to actually win the new business. And when all that is actually spent, what happens? What's our next step when we actually get the lead? And it's actually, for me, it's still very hard to understand how come that can happen in this day of age, that we have all the apps in the world, whatever we need, all the tools and resources in order to make sure that we capture the leads, that we work with them, that we convert them. But there's still some problems. And yes, I'd love to kind of dig deeper into it. So obviously every business is unique. Everybody has a different pattern, getting a new leads. But where we fail, I think the first element of it is the lack of visibility of the leads. Okay, the leads are coming. Yes, you said you might have sent a campaign, there's interest is there, but where's that point where we start gathering the leads? Are they being sent to some Excel spreadsheet that nobody monitors, is just being forgotten, or is just being checked once a week and nothing is being done? Or is it being lost in someone's mailbox that people are too busy? Maybe it's just mixed up between other messages and it's not properly displayed. That needs to be actioned as well. So this step is very, very important, because what happens is, what you really want to do, that when you get a new lead, you want to be really, really fast to respond to this lead, making sure that they know that you received it and you're actioning this. So that speed element is crucial at this stage, because we know that this is a deciding factor in winning the sale. And you can actually, say it, share it, your own experience as well. You might kind of maybe send a couple of inquiries looking for different services, and more likely you will engage the first person who will respond to you. You don't want to be wasting time. You've done your research, you're happy with your selection of the different vendors, and it's really more than certain that the first person will get the job. But from the business perspective,
96% according to our research of people will buy with the first person that comes back to them. 96%.
That's it, exactly. So you can see how valuable it is. But from the business perspective, it's actually also making a good impression as well. So this is your first interactions. You really want to make sure that from that point, you build a really good relationship with the customers. There's no delays, they can trust, because even in the human relationships, that first 7 seconds really matters. And if something doesn't work, then obviously you don't engage any deeper, you move on. And this is the same with the business as well. So I think this is the visibility and the speed in responding to the leads as well. What I find also, that some of the business owners, especially small business owners, they might not have a sales experience. They actually avoid certain engagement and kind of say that they're not ready. They're looking for this perfect email to send and trying to perfect it. And at the end, actually, they don't send it, or they send it with a delay when it's too late, that lead has been lost to someone else. So just having a process in place is really, really important, that you don't build, when the leads are coming in, that you might expect a larger number of leads. Then beforehand, obviously, you want to have that process in place. What you're going to do is going to be email sent to them. What's going to be the first interaction as well. And actually, very important thing to mention is that not everybody's going to be ready to buy. Okay, only 3% of leads are ready to buy straight away, and that's a very small number. So what's going to happen to the rest of those leads that are coming in? You know, some of them, they will be interested but not ready to buy right now. So what are you going to do with them? What is your process? How are you going to nurture them? How are you going to keep close to them until maybe, you know, they'll be ready to buy and then think about you? And there'll be people that will not be interested, and that's fine. You know, not everybody will convert into a buyer, but it's very important that you don't leave out those leads, that this is like your future revenue as well. So make sure that you have all the processes, your avenues covered, you know, for the people that are interested and ready to buy, people that are interested but not ready right now. Okay. And the last thing I think I want to mention is just being proactive about your interactions as well. Don't leave it up to a lead to contact you. Obviously, that's not the responsibility. And making sure that you be the one initiating the contact and engaging with the lead as well.
That's brilliant. So comment a little bit deeper in there, what you mentioned about the process. So in your view, which is the the simplest and most effective way to build a consistent lead to sale without overwhelming a small business owner? Because we know that we are very good to do one thing and we deliver that service and our customers love it, but not everyone is as comfortable with the selling element at the beginning. So which will be this kind of the more effective way to move from lead to sale?
It's a challenge to have it simplest and most effective tool. And I think it's still work in progress, because obviously there's a variety of different industries and businesses and different models. So there isn't one model that will suit all businesses. But what I've seen talking to different businesses that they struggle is mostly relates to not having a clarity of what needs to be done and when and with whom. And because there's a lot of information flying in through email, through social media, through mobile. And I think a lot of businesses find this element overwhelming, that they actually see some conversations being stuck in the email, some agreements. They don't have a central place where to put all that information. So my first, I suppose, suggestion is to reduce that overwhelm of this business owner, is to capture all those important stakeholders that you're dealing with in one place and centralize this, okay? And having that in one place, it makes it so much easier to see a bigger picture and prioritize your relationships with them. Who is the person that you need to kind of engage a little bit more, what deals you have open, and you need to basically kind of focus on closing them as well. And not only this element, but also building your kind of your track record of interactions that you have with your clients or leads as well, and understanding their needs as well. So if they're not ready to buy right now, what is the challenge, the obstacle that they might face right now, and when is the possible time that, you know, they might overcome it, and it will be a good time for you to reach out again. So having all that data in one place, it's a good start, I suppose. And then from then on, you can actually segment the data. You can actually see, you know, everybody's status within the sales cycle. Are they in the leads? Are they prospect? And working through that segments with the process. So that's the starting point anyway, I think, and that brings a lot of clarity to business owners, and they're already happy with having that in place, and they can build on it and basically deepen their relationships as well.
Thanks. So I will actually ask a question though. So I when we met, I told you I have worked with different platforms, and some of them are more sophisticated than others. I work in the corporate world for 20 years, so I have bespoke platforms and a lot of people, a lot of resources to do stuff. I use different ones, and I recommend different ones depending businesses and so on. But something that really struck me when I learned about OnePageCRM is that it makes so much easier, especially for micro, small businesses, and especially for people who don't really understand marketing, sales, and so on, to integrate it to their daily operations without adding more work. So my question is, how does your tool help users to track and manage contacts who aren't ready to buy straight away?
Yes, and thank you very much for your kind words as well, Susanna. It's nice to hear, because it takes a lot of effort to build a system that is ready to use and doesn't add to overwhelm on the daily basis. And I can say that it probably is because we also use OnePageCRM for our purposes. So I'm the user, and I can actually clearly say and pass it on to our development team, oh my goodness, I do not like that workflow. We don't need to click so many times. It's actually quite rare to do that, but it's also very helpful to have a very, really easy system to do. In terms of tracking users and managing contacts that are not ready to buy straight away, I think everything kind of comes down to how you nurture them over time until they're ready to engage with you. Because the reality of it is that everybody's very busy. Your prospects are really busy, and your services, maybe your products, are not priority right now because they're busy running their own business, or maybe the family life is actually taking priority. So your aim during that time is to be, very close to them, keep very close, keep the momentum in the relationship, maybe by delivering the value, educating them about the systems that you provide, of the products and the benefits of it. And the reason of it is just you're not really forcing, you're not pushing your sales over, over to this lead or prospect. But what you're trying to actually not to be forgotten, be on top of their mind, basically. So when the time comes and they actually find this is the right time for me to buy, your name will be the first one that surfaced in their head. And it's like, oh yeah, I remember that person. I'm going to actually reach out to them. And the easy way to do it is because maybe you have reached out to them not too long time ago, like maybe 3 months, and they still have that email. And it doesn't feel like it's out of the blue contact, because you keep fresh, that kind of relationship freshen up all the time. But how do you achieve it? That's the problem, okay? Because everybody says, okay, we need to take action, we need to take consistent action, but the missing element is how to make it so easy. So we also understand that from our perspective, running a small business ourselves, and we build the whole OnePageCRM around follow-up. And this is basically it. That's the core idea. So when someone starts their day on OnePageCRM, they see a daily to-do list. So the daily to-do list is all the tasks that is the highest priority task assigned to a contact. And basically all your effort and energy should be spent on executing those tasks. But I just want to talk a little bit, like, how do you come to that point when those tasks are created? So the difference here is that we, for example, when we work on our daily basis and we have, a lot of quotes to send or emails to send. So for example, Susanna, I've been working with you for a while, and I emailed you a quote, and I know that, okay, well, I might give you 24 hours or 48 hours to review that quote. But if I don't hear from you, it will be my responsibility to reach out to you in 2 days' time, just check in and seeing, okay, maybe is everything okay? Does it need any changes, negotiation, and so on? So at this point, after me sending that quote, I have this is the clarity moment. Okay, I'm putting in my task in 2 days' time, and I schedule it accordingly. And that's it. I have it done, and I don't have to think about it, because OnePageCRM will remind me in 2 days' time that this task is to be done. So what we're avoiding here, before, instead of moving to another contact, for example, like, I send that quote, no, I'm moving to my next task. No. It's a little bit too soon. Spend that 5-10 seconds on capturing the next action, and then move on to the next contact. So if you continue doing that with all your important contacts and your deals, then you will build your to-do list up front. So for example, all those tasks that I come in to do today, they have been decided maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 4 days ago. So I don't have to think about, when I sit down in the mornings, like, oh, what was the last interaction I've done with Susanna? It's like, okay, oh yeah, 2 days, I sent that quote, but maybe I dropped the ball. Maybe it was 3-4 days ago, and that's already too late. So that's the advantage in OnePageCRM, that we plan, we have that forward-thinking element that will build your to-do list into the future, and then saving you time on the actual day to execute it as well.
Yeah,
so,
one of the things that I really liked is the fact that you can integrate it to your emails. So it means that I can go through my emails to look for a previous contact, or I can just go to OnePageCRM and look for my account and see all the communications. And because it's so seamlessly integrated, it literally doesn't feel like I'm jumping from one tool to the other. It just seems that they are working both together, and that helps because all my emails will actually be reflected in the tool later on. So I don't have to do something additional to that.
Yeah, so it's all about it's keeping all the information in one place, and email, as you said, is one of the most important channels in sales. There's still lots of agreements, lots of information being dealt through email. So instead of finding another tool, like, we have a simple integration with Gmail and Outlook, and you can actually write your emails and they will be synced to OnePageCRM. But the advantage of it is that many people might not know straight away is that you can actually save your time by using templates that are attached to your Gmail or Outlook, but it's only visible in OnePageCRM. So if you have a lot of repetitive emails, or like keeping people updated, you can actually use those templates and send them to individual recipients, or send them in bulk, which is totally unique to us as well, that you can actually segment your data, have your 20 leads, for example, and you want to create one email and send it to 20 people in one go, but it does not feel like an email marketing email. It actually still has the personal touch and some customization as well. So that's a big advantage.
That's brilliant. So let's talk about sales process and boosting conversion. So why do you think so many businesses don't have this clear sales process in place? And what are they risking for not having them?
I think a lot of people wouldn't have the sales experience anyway. So while they're being experts in their business area as well, they not necessarily have to have a sales experience. And that's why it probably falls a little bit apart, that they might not know how to collect those leads, how to work with those leads. They might not even realize that a lot of leads need multiple follow-ups. So it's not only a question of sending 1 or 2 emails and that's it, that's the end of the process, but just having those follow-ups maybe carefully spaced out, like maybe it depends what is the cadence in your business, but keep sending those emails. And I keep hearing from our users is that because of this unique aspect of a follow-up OnePageCRM, it's like a secret weapon to them, because they had a case where it required 13 follow-ups to actually win the deals. And it happened actually because of the OnePageCRM being in place and having that process in place, and reminded them this 13 times. And as a result, they actually won that deal, and the value of the deal was tenfold of the cost of the whole the CRM tool. So basically, you can see just only for that even one win, it's worth it. So the persistence really pays off, because if you don't, I suppose, you do risk leaving money on the table. There's lots of leads that potentially could be becoming your customers, but you just need to kind of make sure that you build that relationship with them. And not having really a process in place can actually put you in the wrong direction as well. So instead of, maybe just not knowing, for example, when the deals are falling from your funnel. Okay, you're not learning, okay, is it a price point? Is it a problem with the project or something like that? And if you don't have a process in place and you don't capture that data, it actually can cause you maybe spending money in the wrong places as well, because you may say, okay, well, I need more marketing. Maybe the quality of leads were not the right ones. And while actually it might be completely different things, but you need to capture that and kind of learn from it and just spot the trends as well. So
that part. And maybe how can the tool like yours help small businesses to identify when they are losing, what you were saying about that there is a leak in the funnel. So for people who are not familiar with the terminology, it's basically a funnel. It is where you bring a lot of leads, and the more tied to your customer profile, they will go and become a customer at the end of it. But many businesses, you can be doing a lot of marketing that we talked in another session, and that marketing is either not converting, or when you are getting the leads, they are not becoming a customer. So how this tool can help someone to identify that they're actually losing sales or losing customers in the journey.
Yeah, so like very important aspect of the tool, like our CRM, is just making your pipeline very visual. And actually you divide your stages of the pipeline as well. So from being a lead and the first engagement, maybe getting an appointment, and what happens next. Did you progress from the appointment to quotation or negotiation stage, or it needs actually more nurturing or more educating along the way? And so like having that visibility gives you exactly the picture where the leads stall and for how long. So for example, in OnePageCRM, we have deal velocity. So basically what it is, it actually shows you how long that deal has been stuck in the particular deal stage. And you can see it's been 2 weeks. That's really getting cold right now. You know, if you actually let your deal being, you know, without movement in one deal stage, is definitely requires some action. So this is one of the elements that actually makes you kind of realize how fast they're moving from one stage to another. And, you know, does it require some additional investment of time and effort from your side to kind of move it forward as well and give it all attention that it should be. We also have, in cases when you lose the deal, we have an element of recording that information. So why the deal was lost, and just noticing that as well. You can, especially within the team environment, if some people might realize, okay, well, I also lost the deal because of this new competitor in the market. We definitely need to pay more attention into it. What's happening, what they're offering? Should we just adjust our pricing, or maybe just, you know, put additional services in place in order maybe to encourage people to buy from you? So that is definitely important to capture that in time, rather than not being even aware of that reason why you're not actually progressing with those deals and those customers.
Well, one of the things that I really like of the tool is because there is so much visibility, it's easier to scale. So basically for scaling, what you need to do is the way that you do things being made replicable. So that basically the way that I talk to a potential customer, the things that I say, the information that I sent, and how I convert them, then when you have more people in your company, you will want someone else to do that, or someone else to do that with certain segments of the customers. You will not manage all of them. And because it's so visible, you could actually be able to identify which are the key areas, and you can train your team. Remember, you have to send this, and remember, when a customer answers this, then the best thing is to start giving them educational information instead of pressure to send a quotation, and all those kind of things. And that will help your business to basically replicate the good job that you do, to be able to more people do it. And that means that you can not close one deal a day. You can close 3 if you have 3 people, and so on. So I think that it is a very interesting way to see it in the tool.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And we actually see it with our users as well, because when they see that element of the process in place and having that visibility, what's happening with that deal, you know, basically which are the ones that we need to prioritize more. We had a lovely lady who was using, well, is still using like OnePageCRM for years, and she said that only thanks to OnePageCRM she was able to move her business from the kitchen table to the office. So this is the real impact of you know, how the process is not only generating revenue, but basically you're able to open the office, hire the team, and grow your business. And that's ultimately what we really want. And then maybe make yourself redundant as well, like, because, responsibility will be passed on to, different departments, and then you can actually reap the benefits of all this. But being very, very proud of what she built as well. That was an amazing story, I have to say.
That's fabulous. So actually, one of my questions is which kind of results have you seen when companies move from informal selling to a more defined sales process? Obviously, that is one. Do you have any other story of people who with results?
Yeah, well, like we sell a lot to the States as well, so it's definitely a good market for us, and a lot of people that come back saying that it does make a difference in terms of sales and increasing their revenue. But what comes after it is that obviously it's great to have, but there's a next step to it. So you need to look after those customers, and having that good process that ensures that they have a good experience all the time, and through that they will come back to you to buy more as well. I think what people also appreciate is, and we do market as well with the follow-up, is that do not finish on one sale. Like you aim for more repeat business rather than once-off deal. And we do educate our users on that even after sale has been completed, there's always something to reach out, and do schedule those post-sale check-ins. And then, you never know what can come out of that. And even if this customer is not ready or is not suitable to actually maybe just buy from you again, they might be a great, fabulous source of testimonial or referrals to the other business as well. So there's a lot of possibilities from, working with your current customer base as well. So, and you just never know. So we always say, lock that customer in the follow-up cycle, and keep on top of it as well, just having that engagement all the time.
Yeah, so one of the things that I actually when building the customer journey, so from the beginning to the end, it is even when they buy, depending on the product or service that you have, there is that thing called the buyer's remorse. And if you are not on top of them and reassuring them that they made the right decision, that this is what you need, then actually they will not renew. So I think about the last time that you sign up for a full year membership with your gym. And the only time that you hear about the gym is when it's 30 days before you renew. And you never turn up, and never, ever someone contact you to ask, hey, did you try the personal trainer? Hey, do you know that we introduced this new session? This is very good for people on your age with your goals. All those kind of things will make me feel that this is the right place, even if I don't go as often as I said that I will do it. But if you don't turn up, nobody ever contact me until 30 days before renewing, the chances that that person will renew, it is literally almost zero.
No. That's totally, it's terrible if that still happens in the businesses. And, at all costs, I think people should avoid it. And I heard someone telling me, like, that the difference actually, what all that kind of keeping close to the customers make is that the customers feel loved. And that's really lovely to hear, that, just showing them attention and showing the appreciation, they feel like, okay, they're important to your business as well. And I think even in our case, like we love to hear a little bit more feedback from the customers. So we use that feedback to improve our business as well. Like obviously there's always plenty space for improvement. So we do frequently ask people for a feedback and some great ideas, because, great ideas come from our user base as well. They are the ones that use our system on a daily basis, and they definitely can provide valuable feedback as well. But in any other business, don't just finish the project and that's it. There's always opportunities to ask for the feedback, and it actually builds so much of the trust for the business as well, that they open to it and with that good reputation. And I've experienced a little bit myself that we've been looking for a service provider to install the solar panels actually in our house, like, for a while. And we're looking for recommendations from people kind of around the area that already use it. And it's funny how people were reluctant to recommend one company, because they just have a feeling that once they captured them as a client, once they got their deposit, they didn't feel there was enough communication in place, as if they didn't have a certainty what was the next step, that communication wasn't clearly specified. And you can actually see, like, obviously that feedback hasn't been shared with the business owner, which is a pity, but all those little communication is so important. And I always say, keep your customers updated. What's the next step? And being in the sale or after the sale, just making sure that give them the good news, provide them information. If there's any birthday or anniversaries that you can celebrate with them, this is just a nice, happy time to reach out as well.
So in terms of building relationship with customers, so as I said before, many people, we set up the business, we are very good on one thing, and then the idea of selling, it is terrifying for most of the businesses that we work with. But, and they are always saying, oh, I don't want to be pushy. So which examples do you have in how you can approach this follow-up in a professional manner, yet keep it relaxed? And you talked about educating instead of pushing for the order. So do you have any examples that you can share of how you do that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think a lot of people kind of maybe reduce follow-up to, okay, just a number of interactions, send them 5 emails, like, have you checked my email? And a week later, have you checked my email? That's not going to actually move the needle. It's not going to make any difference. So if you decide to reach out to someone, make sure that you have a valuable information for them, and maybe provide it like a high context to your interactions. So for example, if you're coming back to a customer that hasn't been in your funnel because wasn't ready at the time, maybe your responsibility at the time would be to gather as much of the context, why they were not ready to proceed, what was the challenge, and so on. And then maybe if it comes to the moment when 3 months later you're reaching out, you're actually reaching out instead of, hi, you're ready to buy now, instead of, well, listen, the last time we discussed, you were facing this problem. However, you were hoping to solve it in 3 months. So I'm just wondering how you're getting on. So it's not rather a sale. You're not approaching them with your services, your organization, but you're asking them what's happening in your business. And with this approach, how can I help? Just always think about their situation. What is their problem? Can you address it? Can you solve it? And I think sometimes people kind of feel, they talk a little bit too much about themselves, what they do, before they understand your prospect current challenge. And, trying to be on their side, trying to, be as if you were a part of their team and help them from that perspective. And if they see a little bit of, that collaboration from your side, I think they'll be more prone to engage with you as well. So it's not only about persistence, but, a high context of reach out as well and helping them. I think this is the main thing.
Yeah, so one thing that I do, our sales process our sales cycle is quite long. So I always said, nobody wake up in the morning and say, oh, I want to hire a business consultant. There are certain, we solve certain problems, and not everyone will have that problem, or not everyone will realize that the problem that they have can be solved with our services. But something that we consistently do, because we read a lot, we attend a lot of webinars, and we are kind of absorbing a lot of information. So we will go back to people and say, hey, look, I read this article about this, and I thought it will be interesting to you. Or suddenly I will write an article and say, oh, do you remember that we were talking about this? Or someone talking about exit strategy and how they can prepare the business before going with the process of selling the business. And it's like, oh, I read this article and I thought that you will be interested on reading this, because there are 5 quick steps that you can do now. And obviously, as I said from the beginning, when you have a number that you can count in your hands. And remember, it's good if you have many customers and different interests and so on. It's a lot more difficult to manage with Excel file and with any kind of manual tool. So that's when having someone that can prompt you, someone that you know, okay, I have 5 customers that are interested in exit strategy or potential. It will make the life a lot easier to do the follow-ups that are still very personal and very spontaneous, to keep you on top of mind, not just kind of pushing for the sale. So I'm very conscious that we have, I think I have like 10 more questions and we have 4 minutes and we have some questions in the Q&A. So what I want to, so I have 2 questions. One, for business owners still using a spreadsheet or a sticky notes, how do you explain the value of switching to a system like yours?
Okay, we all been there. Okay, we've used the Excel spreadsheets long time before CRM existed. I'm not against Excel spreadsheets, to be honest. Like if you have a small amount of maybe contacts to manage that in Excel spreadsheet that works for you, that's fine. With the increased number of records, even though Excel is built for holding a lot of data, might be a little bit complicated, especially when you have more than one person using the Excel spreadsheet, and maybe the categories or formulas can actually get a little bit out of hand, and it's hard to kind of maybe clearly see what's happening with this customer. But I think that the main thing about the Excel spreadsheet is that it looks into the past. So it does record what interactions has happened. Yes, it's great for keeping the history, but how is that going to actually change our bottom line? Okay, we're not looking for the database of what happened. Yes, it's good for reference, but we actually want to look into the future. What is our next step? What needs to be done in order to move that relation to the next stage? So I think this is what's missing from Excel spreadsheet. And I don't even know how to address the sticky notes, to be honest.
But they fall. If they are not a good one, they stick and they fall and you forget about them. So tell me, in the tool, what is the biggest time-saving feature that you have that you will say, okay, this feature is the one that is saving the most time to people?
Okay, so I use it every day, and it's just creating a contact with one click. And we manage that through a Chrome extension. Basically, you can go to any social media profile or website, or even from your email, and that extension will harness the available information, which will be then foundation of building a contact OnePageCRM. That all happens in one click. So bring all the data, but also add this important next step, next action. So you don't only grow your database, but actually make it actionable. So that's very important.
Okay, so I have some questions in the Q&A, so I will go through them. So glad to meet. First question, how to make a trust client in my own company by my business? So how to make the customer trust your business?
Okay, no. I think it just comes down to keeping a good relationship with your customers and making sure that you respond to their queries in the timely manner and relevant as well. You do not ignore the queries, and I think the customers even will trust you more if you address the challenging situations as well, head on rather than trying to avoid it. This is something that maybe a lot of business owners would avoid, hoping for the situation to disappear if it's not being addressed. But, these things happen all the time. But a lot of things can be really avoided by keeping on top of the relationship all the time and making sure that you're in touch with your customers in the timely manner, and making sure that they know what they can expect and you deliver on that as well.
That's good. So the next question, I'm not really sure if I understand. It says, what a percentage success in products marketing by companies? So Glasson, if you want to add more content to that, we will come back to that question in a little bit. So, Gosia, 2 more questions. So the first one is, which are the tickets? So we talked about so much, and I literally have like 10 more questions that I wanted to ask, and I didn't have time. But tell me, which are the 3 takeaways any business owner should take from this session that they can implement quickly and improve their results?
Okay, so we've been talking about process. I think look at your process, sales process, and don't overcomplicate it. Keep it simple. Maybe define it into whatever number of steps you need to do, and make sure that you have a place to implement it and stick to it. Because let's not reinvent the wheel. The process is there and it works for you, and you just want to make sure that it's consistently delivered to all your clients. So the process is very, very important. I think make sure that you see your leads coming in as well. It should be an easy place to land. Like we believe it's so important that, for example, if you have an inquiry from your email, it should be quickly acknowledged, so have automation in place and make sure that it's clearly visible and you can respond straight away, because that speed is what will make a difference for your customers, for your business as well, to win the new business. And third one, look at your segment of your contacts that they're not ready. They were not ready in the past to buy from you, and go back to them and follow up as well.
That's brilliant. Look at the segment of your customers and follow up. We're not ready. So I will send an email to all the registration with the 3 takeaways. So that's why I'm writing them. So Gosia, where can people contact you and learn more about the tool?
Yeah, you're very welcome to reach out to me through LinkedIn. Just send me a message to connect, and I'll be happy to engage there.
Oh gosh, thank you very, very much for the session. Really enjoyed, and I just actually miscalculated the amount of information that I thought I could go through today. Thank you for being my last guest. I will come back probably in the year with more webinars, but the collaboration session probably next year. Thank you, Gosia, for your time. And we still have, if we have any questions from Glasson, we are going to stay here a little bit if you want to send another question. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you, Susanna. Thank you.